great, amazing morning to you. Rise and shine up and at 'em is a phenomenal new day. You know, just to be here with you means everything to me. You're officially tuned into Cannabis, discussing the business of cannabis on this bright, beautiful Wednesday morning, the 5th of June, 2019. I mean, we're 6 months in already. Don't you remember we were having the conversations at the end of last year, ushering in the new year about all our goals and visions and dreams? And I teetered around with the notion that I was introducing something new to you, and you really didn't know what it was, but you were supportive. And I appreciate that. And so on today, we're ushering in, probably like, a month old, yay, for cannabis as we are growing, as this industry is growing. And our goal is to educate, enlighten, and empower everything pertaining to the business of cannabis. I have to reiterate that. The business of cannabis. I have so many conversations with individuals. You know, I love that we have the dialogue. I love that we are comfortable enough that no matter where I am, you see me, you stop me, we engage, and that you're truthful about what your concerns are. I got a couple of days ago, well, Colette, are you trying to get everyone to smoke? And like I share with you all the time, if smoking helps you, absolutely. You can call it whatever it is. If it's medicinal and it assists you, fine. I know you all saw on the news yesterday, the 7 o'clock, the Channel 7 News, they had a segment that talked about older residents, older citizens are using pot, and they said pot. They didn't say cannabis. They're using pot for their health. And a lot of them still don't have a medical card, so they're getting it in the illegal ways, but they've tried all the other instances, all the other substances, everything that's been prescribed by the doctors, and they have still opted to use cannabis. And I would challenge everyone to be mindful of our words, right? Cannabis. I don't even marijuana so much. Definitely not pot. Definitely not weed. Definitely not reefer. It's all about how you say things. It's all about how you shape the narrative. And I believe that then determines how you look at things. Over the last week or so, we've had the dialogue about Dr. Sanjay Gupta. And you all know he did a huge piece a year or so ago, and he was on Dr. Oz, and he was addressing all the challenges with marijuana and that it was bad and it was all these things, and if indeed it was a gateway drug. And then you all just saw that now his position has changed. And he's asking for more study and more research to go into understanding marijuana, cannabis. And let me tell you why he said that. He said it because he was looking at it from a perspective of everything that he was reading showed the harm of cannabis. And so if everything that I'm reading is going to give me the negative impact of it, that shapes my narrative. And so I'm going to actually think that everything about cannabis is bad. But if indeed I have a glimmer of hope, if indeed I have something that is aha, something that's a little open that says, you know what, maybe I could look at it a different way. Maybe I could have a different perspective. And so I'm giving you a recap because on last week we talked about just that. We talked about what opioid addiction looks like, and specifically then how cannabis is being used to wean individuals off of opioids. And I know someone said, well, Colette, is it the trade-off from one to the other? Well, as you saw the clip I shared with Dr. Oz on last week, one therapist said, absolutely, it's the trade-off. But he would prefer a trade-off to use cannabis than to consistently use and abuse heroin or opioids and then end up in a death. And so if indeed the use of cannabis allows me to find some kind of relief or to be able to manage or whatever the case may be, because I tell you all, prescription drugs are no joke. And I share with you all my experience about my shoulders. I believe that, I rode crew in college. I don't know if my new regiment with workout or whatever the case may be reignited some dynamics in my shoulders and my range of motion and the like. And I told you all that I went to the doctor the first time and they prescribed me this ointment that was $600. Remember that? And then I went to the doctor again, and he gave me steroids. He gave me a 5-day supply of steroids, which did everything. Weight gain, insomnia, tingle feet, you name it. It did it over those 5 days with 2 doses a day. And I knew I could immediately feel the impact of when the steroid was rubbing off. Because the pain would bring itself up again, the throb would hit me, and of course I said, oh, maybe it's time to take another pill. And so imagine if indeed that was a different type of pill and a different type of setting, and I didn't have that consciousness of it, then I could have just been popping pills, and that's what I would have done. And so that was, I had that experience this week. And so that's a recap, a re-emphasis, if you will, of the importance of having information to make the best decisions for your life. And I'm so fortunate and thankful that that is where we are today. We have an amazing young lady. She's in the building. I'm going to give her just due right now before we bring her on. Dr. Valanda Anderson, nutritionist, professor, and speaker. She's the author of Past the Sweet Potatoes, Please and Beyond Candied Yams, and Sweet Potato Pie. Let me give you her vitae, if you will. Dr. Valanda Anderson is a well-known health promotion educator, author, professor, and nutritionist, specializing in nutrition, coaching, and plant-based diet meal makeover education. She is the founder and CEO of Sweet Potato Delights, a veteran-owned, owned small batch manufacturer of vegan dips, snacks, and baked goods featuring sweet potatoes. She recently retired as manager of the City of Detroit Health Department's Women's, Infant, and Children WIC program. Dr. Anderson has completed doctoral studies in the field of nutrition and health promotion and is currently a nutrition professor for South University Online. She's the author of several educational cookbooks, Beyond Candied Yams and Sweet Potato Pie. Her second book, Past the Sweet Potatoes, Please. Her first book, as she also author of Calm Under Fire, a motivational resource discussing the power of positive self-talk. And then there's several other components of her amazing vitae that we're going to bring up in the conversation with her. But that's going to shape where we are today. So we've jumped from what it looked like and opioids, and now I'm very clear that cannabis is medicinal. If I've never been clear about anything else in my life, that is what I know to be true. And it's amazing to be able to have a nutritionist right before we had the intro to the show. She was just talking about, she saw an article, a piece that we're going to address today about 5 foods. You can talk about foods to infuse with cannabis, what it looks like from a nutritional base, because we're dealing with the whole person. You all realize that? On cannabis, we'll meet you wherever you are. So if it is something that's medicinal, we got you. If it's recreational, absolutely we have you. It's a legislation, yes, we got you. Financial investment, we have you. Product or services, we got you. We're a one-stop shop. Don't you love how that works? I'm just saying. And so I'd like to, before I bring Dr. Anderson on, let you all know I've been searching far and wide. I feel like that song. I've been searching. Remember that song? For so long. Maybe that was who was that? Somebody like you. Tim will be able to tell me who it was. That's the R&B. I've been searching far and long and wide for a coffee partner. And I shared with you on the air that it was very important to me. I love the concept of like the Morning Joe that's powered by Starbucks. You all know that I love the concept of coffee. I like the engagement component of it, probably just as a conversational starter. Well, I'm so fortunate to be able to announce that I have now a partnership and sponsorship with Strava Craft Coffee out of Denver, Colorado, that is a CBD-infused coffee. Yay! Aren't you all excited? So the product is on its way. We'll be able to have it. All the guests on the show will be able to experience it. And you too will be able to experience it because I will be able to present that opportunity to you right here in this market. Aren't you excited? And they have such amazing names. One is called Focus. One is called Restore. One is called Energy. And so we're going to engage in what that looks like because, you know, now everything is CBD infused. And I don't have a problem with it, specifically since we were talking about cannabis. So if y'all would be so kind, take a look. It's only about a minute to introduce you into Strava Craft. And then the next people that you'll see up here, of course, will be Dr. Anderson and myself to talk about nutrition, cannabis, and all of the above. So let's take a look.
I'm the president of Strava Craft Coffee. We're a local specialty coffee roaster. We've been in business for a year and a half. We chose to celebrate the infusion of cannabis into some really fantastic coffee. The really great thing about Denver is that it's a community of innovators, of makers, of specialty foods, specialty experiences. And as we've moved into the cannabis community with our hemp-infused coffee, we've connected with members of this community that are extremely supportive. They believe in our vision, and they help connect us with resources. We're using a hemp-derived CBD oil to infuse into the beans, and it produces some really fantastic results for consumers. You can enjoy a couple cups of coffee and not worry about coffee jitters, and it's fantastic for alleviating anxiety as well. We roast all of our coffees here in Denver, Colorado. We do the infusions here as well, and then package up in 12-ounce bags of whole bean coffee. And we sell those at a couple cafes locally in town, and we do sell those online, and they can order right there, and we'll ship directly to their house. You can prepare it by a French press or AeroPress, however you like to prepare your coffee at home.
We're back, everyone. Don't you see? We're getting everything together. Isn't this so great? Woohoo! Don't you love? I love this. Welcome, Dr. Anson. How are you?
So much, Colette. You are amazing.
Oh, no. That would be us. We had that energy.
Yes.
I think that's what when we first met, we were connected. And we have to say a great morning to Felicia Knuckles and Wakana, the Wakana family. You all know, let me let everyone know, that on the 15th, we are doing an invite meet and greet for the Wakana family. And that's going to be right here at the station at 12 noon. So everyone, you'll see a clip from me. It's through Eventbrite. You'll be able to register. That's the only way you'll be able to attend. If you register through Eventbrite, because you're going to want to know everything about Wakana, and you'll see a Wakana commercial running shortly because they are partnered with us as well. So we have to make our conversations matter, right? In the fullness and the entirety and the sincerity of our intent. And our intent today, Dr. Anderson, is to talk about nutrition overall, and then specifically as it pertains to cannabis.
Absolutely.
So where are we with nutrition?
So food is medicine.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Point
the bottom
blank.
line.
So everyone, did you get that?
Food is medicine.
Food
Period.
is medicine.
Yes.
Now, okay, because I have some questions. I'm does it depend on what kind of food?
Yeah. Plants.
Okay.
Plants.
Help us.
Plants. So just think about this, because all pharmaceuticals that are created
Okay.
are most often created from a plant.
Okay.
So we go to the plant and we take something out of it because there's some research that has said that this component does this for this particular health issue. And we pull that component out, or our scientists, our pharmaceuticals, our formulators, what have you,
Okay.
pull that component out.
Okay.
Now, mind you, there's some other components left in that plant.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
And we create this pharmaceutical. And so now we're taking this, and you see the commercials, and it says, okay, these side effects also. It does this wonderful thing for
Yes.
you, but we've got all of these side effects. Well,
Yes.
think about all of those things that were left in the plant.
Yes.
Because when that component gets in your body, it's looking for its sisters and brothers and cousins and whatever to just kind of show up really good in your body. But it was left in the plant because we pulled that one thing out.
Oh, we left it alone. So you pulled it out, and now it's isolated into by itself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No,
And the
you
body
made it
really
so
is
easy.
looking for some of those other things. So
Okay.
just give me the plant.
Wow.
Just give me the plant.
Now that was really. And you made it. Did you all get that? Did you get an aha moment? Just give me the plan.
give me
That's
the
really a nice little slogan. Now, do you have a T-shirt that says "Just give me the plan"?
Okay,
we might
we're
need to
gonna make
write
a note.
that down.
Write that down.
Note to self. See how we did the branding of it. So at the end of the day, we should be focusing on plant-based eating.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
give us a historical perspective.
So,
about that.
I think about my brother. I went to visit him, landed there in Texas a few years back before coming back to Detroit for the health department,
Okay,
right?
yes.
And he said, "You're not making us vegetarian." So I said to my brother, I said, I'm not going to try to make you vegetarian. What
Sure.
I would like for you to do is it's about the quality.
Yes.
So if you are going to eat meat, it's the quality of the meat and quantity, because the body doesn't need a whole lot of it.
Okay.
But everybody needs more plants.
Okay.
No matter what.
Okay.
And it's about color. So you hear me say, eat the rainbow. What comes in lots of colors?
Oh,
Fruits and vegetables.
yes.
The plants come in lots of colors. Springtime, we see all the flowers blooming. Right?
Yes.
It's colors. And that's what our body needs, because the colors are going to give you maximum vitamins and minerals. And those are the little tools that it needs to do some other things and create some other things and dance with the enzymes and all
Right.
the other things that are going on in our body to make all of these different systems work.
Okay.
Including the endocannabinoid system. So I know
Did
we're
y'all
going to
get
get
that?
to
No, that's great. No, because I was going to ask you. That's a plant. Cannabis is a plant.
It is a plant.
So help us,
So
doctor.
food is medicine. Plants are food,
Yes.
and cannabis is a plant. Cannabis is a plant family,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Right, and so we've already had the conversation about the THC side of the family.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
And we're going to go over here to the cousins with the hemp and the cannabinoids and the endocannabinoid system.
Yes.
So that is already there in our body. And so I did this with somebody. I said, stand like this. So you got all these points.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, head to. And if you think about all of these tenets in the body, they're going out to all of your arteries and everything, but each of those tenets are receptors, have receptors attached to them looking for
Something.
which is cannabinoids. And we can
Wow.
find them in the plant.
Wow.
And then there are foods you mentioned, as I told you earlier.
Yes, I can't wait.
doing
You saw the
research. You know,
sheet. Yes.
we're doing research.
Yes,
and
all the time.
I was so happy to hear about Sanjay Gupta.
Yes.
And the expectation of like, oh wow, it's science. The human body is science.
Yes.
Food is science.
Yes.
Nutrition is science. So we're always learning as we continue to live in the world and learn about how science has evolved and how our body evolved. So wonderful to hear that the openness to the research.
Yes.
And so I'm researching and find this article that says 5 foods that help enhance cannabinoids.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Did you? Okay, so stay there. Did you all get what she just said? First of all, plant-based. The truth is, we shouldn't eat all this meat. Where did that even come from? That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that's
a whole nother conversation. Okay, and then it's quantity of meat if you're going to eat meat, the type of meat, but the truth is, no matter what, you need more plant-based.
Yes.
And the truth is, now, as it relates to cannabis, see how everything always comes back to cannabis?
Mm-hmm.
And the cannabinoids that we have in our body, because people don't even know that. Dr. Anderson, people don't know.
Yes.
People don't know. And so now you know because we told you. And so we now have this amazing research, additional research, that talks about 5 foods
5 foods.
that increase the cannabinoids.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what
that
they
bind very easily to the cannabinoids,
Okay.
which will enhance the experience that it has in the body.
Okay.
Or how it impacts the body.
Okay.
And the wonderful thing that was so exciting is the number 1 food. Guess. What the number 1 food is? Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes.
You couldn't have timed that one any better.
My goodness.
You know, she is the sweet potato guru here, right? Sweet potatoes.
Absolutely. When I saw that was the first thing on the list, because when I completed my doctoral studies, it was really about fiber.
Okay.
And at that time, the fiber was really in the news. And so I said, okay, Americans have a love affair with potatoes. Maybe I can teach them how to do potato really well
Right.
and get the fiber.
Right.
Well, I had a lot of diabetics in my study group. White potatoes was out. It's like, what potato are we going to use now?
Right.
If you want potato, sweet potatoes was it. And sweet potatoes is the most incredible vegetable that I know. It's diabetic friendly. It has all kind of minerals
Yes.
in it and nutrients, beta carotene, all the cancer fighting nutrients A, C, and E. So, but back to cannabinoids
Right.
and the binding. So sweet potatoes is at the top of the list.
Right.
You've got omega-3 fat foods like avocados,
Avocados.
that are very good. Broccoli is very good.
Okay.
Herbs are very good. Mangoes are very good.
Okay.
And so just with those 5 foods, look at the color.
Yes.
Sweet potatoes is orange.
Orange.
Broccoli is
Green.
green. Mangoes are kind of
Green, red, yellow,
yes,
a little bit.
yes.
Okay.
Avocados are green,
Green.
and herbs are come in a variety
Plethora
of
of
colors.
colors,
We can get
yes.
some red in there.
Yes.
So we've got 3 or 4 colors, right?
Wow,
And so
yeah.
I always tell people that to help you, look at your plate.
Okay.
Every time you
Look at
eat,
your
just
plate.
look at your plate. How many colors do you see? So if you've got 2 colors, you probably want to add some
Only 2. You can't do just the 2. You need to add some
You need to
broccoli.
add colors.
Okay, to add color. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So isn't that exciting that we can choose to eat healthy? Amazing time of year because
Yes.
now we're moving into the farmers market season and you can get lots of colorful fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
But these 5, sweet potatoes, avocados, different herbs, mangoes, and broccoli.
Wait. Those should be the top on the
Those
list.
should be the top.
And so, and then, is there an issue with how we prepare those foods as well?
Always, always,
Okay.
always. So, the closer to, the less we put the heat on it,
Okay.
the more abundant that, or bioavailable
Okay.
that the nutrients in the plants are going to be. So as you start to add heat, not that you can't cook it or saute
Sure.
it or, but the more you add heat,
Okay.
the more you lose in terms of nutrient density
Okay.
in the food. Yeah.
So, for example, with broccoli.
Steam. Just.
So it still has a little texture. It's a little
Yes,
thick.
yes.
It's still a little.
Really bright green when
Right.
when you steam it just right, a couple of minutes. It's going to be bright green.
Right.
You can poke your fork in it, but it's going to still be crunchy.
Gotcha. Okay, because
Yeah.
that's you. I know you all have that challenge of how to cook it, not to cook too much. What does that look like? And do you all get it? These are foods that enhance the cannabinoids in our system. That is the natural component to cannabis. Did you get how that works? So no one is even talking about.
Very easy.
Very easy.
Very easy.
Now let's go back to the sweet potato though, because you are an expert at the sweet potato. What about
love
the
the
cooking
sweet
of the sweet potato? Can you cook the? So a lot of times they say you poke the sweet potato and make sure it has to be all the way through. Is that? How do you prepare the sweet potato?
So there are a number of ways.
Okay.
I mean, as you can imagine, because of this research with the sweet potato, or getting the doctor. My doctor's in nutrition and health
Yes.
promotion, and I just never knew that there was so much to do with a sweet potato. You have a
Right.
sweet potato breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, and I found out from a trip through to Tuskegee University, the agriculture department,
Okay.
that you can even get it in wines, sweet potato wines.
Sweet potato
So, in terms of cooking the sweet potato, you can peel a raw sweet potato,
Okay.
dice it, and add some other vegetables to it, put it in the oven.
Gotcha.
Or
Okay.
we're moving into summertime, and
Yes.
folks like grilling, just put it in the grill basket
Okay.
on the grill.
Okay.
You can leave it in the skin, because now the skin of anything most often is going to have a lot of nutrients in it.
Okay.
So we want to clean.
Yes.
It could just be some lemon and water, or you can get some veggie,
Right,
clean
the
from
cleaner.
a health food store, what have you, and put it in the oven. Wash it, put it in the oven.
Okay.
30, 45 minutes.
Right,
You
right.
know, you don't necessarily have to poke it.
Right.
I don't know if poking helps to,
I didn't know it,
pour
right.
water in, to hold
Right.
moisture in, or, I'm not sure. And you can just eat it like that.
Okay.
It has a sweetness that is amazing. It has a sweetness that is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. A sweet potato is not a yam, and that's another conversation.
Well,
a sweet
yes.
potato is not a yam. We don't grow yams in the U.S.,
Okay.
and it's a long history of how we got to use the word yam.
Wow.
But so you can do that. You can puree it. Now, once you've baked it, scoop it out. How about those twice baked potatoes?
I've
You
heard.
remember-
Yeah, I've heard about the twice bake. So you can do that with the sweet
Yes,
potato.
you can do
too.
that with the sweet potato. There are so many sweet potato pancakes. You can
Right.
use it in a grater, make some, your hash browns.
Right.
You can make some sweet potato hash browns. Mix it
Right.
with your Yukon potatoes if you don't just like all
Right.
sweet potatoes. Oh, there's so many things to do with sweet potatoes.
You all know I'm pretty shocked right now. If you have any questions, you can absolutely call in 313-868-0342 or 313-868-0351. 313-868-4336. I mean, who knew? This is a perfect fit. Do you all understand where we're going with this? Nutrition, the healthiness of the body, the cannabinoids, what we need to make sure that we have the nutrients that we need, and then it's direct correlation to what it looks like with cannabis. It's just medicinal, cannabinoids. It's just medicinal. If you feed the body certain things, then you'll get a favorable result. Is that it, Dr.
That's
Anderson?
it.
So,
That's
like
it.
in a nutshell.
In a
certain
nutshell.
things, nah. So now I'm going to switch gears strongly on the cannabis piece.
Okay.
What has your space been like with cannabis from a nutrition standpoint? Do you get a lot of seniors or people that are contacting you now asking you, what does this look like? How do I cook? What does that? Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that is the space that I am expanding in now
Nice.
as a nutritionist and as a food entrepreneur. And I'm saying, there are no mistakes.
Right.
Things are always in divine order. and the time that you should be at where you should be is always in order.
Yes.
So my journey from the professor, the researcher, to the food entrepreneur has prepared me to be creative and help educate and empower others to learn how to increase their use very easily
Yes.
of a supplement, because quite frankly the CBD is a nutritional supplement.
Ah,
So
yes.
it's a nutritional supplement, but you can also cook with it
Yes.
and add your supplement to your food.
Yes.
So you know, I'm always working on cookbooks.
Yes.
So there's probably a cooking with CBD
Coming in the works. Very good. Did y'all get that? Are you going to look out for that? I'm going to look out for
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
that's what it's about. Being
Yeah.
able to, again, everyone, the business of cannabis, there's an opportunity, and you get in where you fit in.
Yeah. And so around that, around the food piece, around
Yes.
the business opportunity,
Yes.
because there is, particularly for food entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
and particularly for plant-based food entrepreneurs, because
Yes.
we're talking about plants with plants.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure there will be, you know, prime rib sub, you know,
Right.
for those chefs that cook meat.
Yes.
But I'm, you know me, I'm the plant-based
You're the
person,
plant-based
right?
person. So
And
this,
so
this is what we're going to do. You're going to hold that thought. You guys, we're going to go to break. Okay? Because I want you to soak all of this in, and then we'll come right back with more with Dr. Anderson and how you need to cook with your CBD. We'll be right back. Right here on TV 33, we're so proud to announce on Wednesday, 7 a.m., we're going to have a conversation that matters. It's called Cannabis, the business of the cannabis industry. We're going to address everything from medicinal, recreational, legislation, finance, edibles, and more. No more are we going to be in a space where we are not empowered to make an industry work for us. We're now in a space where this billion-dollar industry is taking the world by storm, but you wouldn't know what to do with that if you didn't have the adequate information. I'm ready to give it to you. So excited about the conversation. On Wednesday, 7 a.m., right here on TV 33, we're going to have that conversation that matters. And I promise you, as we always say, you will be educated, enlightened, and empowered. Look forward to seeing you again for the business of cannabis. Cannabis with Colette. I'll see you then.
Imagine the rare opportunity to be positioned in front of an industry that still has a product just like water every human being on the planet needs to maintain itself, but yet still in its infancy, virtually unknown to most of the world. An opportunity that until now has been unattainable for the masses. Our company is Kanna. We are Kanna, what you've imagined.
You can have your own party on TV. Party with RJ Watkins and the TV 33 family when you hold your own Facebook watch party. Connect all your friends with our friends, and we can have a watch party together. Watch your favorite TV shows when you want, how you want, with your favorite people. Here's how it works. Log on to Facebook from your computer or tablet and go to the RJ Watkins fan page at facebook.com/TV33WHPR. The one with the blue WHPR logo on the left. Like us. Click the word videos with the red tag that says live next to it. Then click the share button at the bottom of the video player and select start a watch party. Invite whoever you want. Your party will be recorded and archived for playback anytime you want. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. At the end of the month, the viewer that has the most people at their watch party will be invited on the TV show live. Come on, let's have a party.
We're back. We're back. Thank you so much. It's a little bit after the half of the hour. I just wanted to make sure we got all our partnerships in and to give you your call to action and make sure you were engaged in the support that we have for cannabis, discussing the business of cannabis. Right before the break, Dr. Anderson, we were jumping around with what food entrepreneurship, foodpreneur, is that it?
Foodpreneur. Oh,
Is that it? Is that it? Foodpreneur?
That's good.
And what that looked like in seizing and creating an opportunity. And how you said now you've been afforded to be able to further your line. Because I have, look, we have some amazing pieces. Jambalaya. Nice.
Ooh, sweet
Sweet
jambalaya.
potato. So, imagine this infused with CBD. What else we got over here,
Yes.
doctor? Do you see how
Sweet
good this
potato
looks?
hummus.
Sweet potato hummus.
2 flavors.
Roasted beet hummus. Oh my goodness. This is really, I'm really excited about, I love, and then spicy black bean. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. Being able to meet us where we
Yes,
are,
yes.
and then as industry is growing and things are evolving, you say, guess what? I can do something a little more. I can push myself a little more.
And then I can stay in the lane of encouraging people to make healthier choices, because there's jambalaya out there.
Sure.
There's hummus out there.
Yes.
There's brownies, and see, we've touched everything because people like their sweets.
They like their sweets.
right?
Yes.
And then they want snacks. They want something that's fast, easy to go.
Yes.
Lunch. They want something hearty that's filling.
Yes.
Right? And so you're providing the healthier choices, but then you can make it easier for you, because people want convenience.
Yes, we do.
And so they may run out the door and not stop and take their drops or take their vitamin, but if it's in their food,
It's in their food.
then they can,
Easy.
more bang for the buck.
Thank you. You know what
Yeah.
it reminds me of, and I don't know if, and I'm not saying we're going to get there, doctor, but remember the Jetsons? Do you remember the Jetsons? You all remember the Jetsons?
Yes.
And they would go when it was time to eat, and they'd push that little button, and they'd get the capsule. And they would just take the capsule. And when you're young, I'm like, well, where's the food? How does that look? But it showed you, and I believe that we'll get to a point that it will turn exactly into that. I believe that.
Okay.
Now you're like, oh, not so much. It might not be as enjoyable,
Right.
and I'm not trying to push it. But I mean, at the end of the day, for
Yes.
allowing us to get the real nutrients, don't think that they're not going to come out with a capsule with CBD and cannabis.
Well, it makes the point that technology, look where
Yes.
technology has brought us to.
Yes.
So some version of that is realistic to expect, because
Absolutely.
technology is here.
Yes, and I believe it's going to come from the pharmaceutical industry, the same pharmaceutical industry that we started the conversation with,
Yes.
that takes the extraction from the plant, that one little piece that fits their need. I believe that they will do the same thing.
Well, also for us to be conscious
Okay.
of facts. So things like the research has been there for 40 years about the wealth and the power of this plant. So we're like, the question us holistic practitioners are like, so why did it take so long for it to come forth?
Nice.
But that's okay. It's come forth, and we want to make sure that we
Yes.
empower individuals to be able to choose,
Yes.
not get CBD from the gas station.
Right.
Read
Can I just
the
tell you that?
labels. Please read the labels.
Stay there. Do not get CBD from the gas station.
Oh, how about this? I went to a dollar store.
No,
I saw
no.
CBD at the dollar store yesterday. I said,
In the little capsule thing, like the vitamins, they had the CBD. oil?
no, it
was
looked
a
like
lotion?
the oil for a vape pen. I said,
Wow.
how much is that? How many milligrams is that? And I
$1.
didn't buy it, but I probably will go back and buy it, just because I want to read the label and understand what is your
That
formulation?
nothing.
Are you
Can you
serious?
imagine what's in there? And you're
Oh.
supposed to smoke it.
Oh my goodness.
And you know
Scary.
what? That sounds
Scary.
as bad as the synthetic cannabis.
Yes.
Remember that? Remember the
Very
whole scare about this, and which folks are still using and having horrific experiences with, that they got from the gas station? Stop, you all. Now, let me just go back a little bit, because the doctor made an amazing point. The goal is to meet you where you are, and ultimately that means seizing an opportunity. She's a food nutritionist. She's a nutritionist, an ambassador, an author, creating a line specific to sweet potato, and now being able to infuse CBD. She wouldn't have had that opportunity, as she just stated. You were wondering where it went. What happened 40 years ago? Because big business, because the government decided, now this is how I can make money off of it. And so for people of color, we've always been at the end of the spectrum. And I'm going there right now because we constantly wait. We're still having the conversation of, look at what they're doing. Oh, we can't do it. And what do you mean we can't do it? I don't even understand that. If you are creative and you understand the conversations and the synergies and the partnerships that you should be having, I look at this, doctor, as reparations.
Yes.
People don't look at it that way. To me, this is a new form of reparations, especially those of us who are coming from sharecropper, crop farming experiences. You have land, we have hemp. You don't have to just, again, we're talking about this amazing plant, right? So you didn't have to jump on the THC side. You stay on the CBD, the hemp side. You can do hemp.
Yes.
You can grow hemp.
Health without the high.
Help without the high, but it's a business. And I just want us to understand, doctor, I guess that's my whole thing. Like, you've met us from a nutrition standpoint, from a food perspective, to say, this is how I can live and maximize this industry. Make it healthy for us, and then make money. Hello, we have to live.
Yes.
And so why is it that we miss that? I don't understand.
So everything starts in the mind. Whatever it is, whatever your experience is, your attitude, your responses, everything starts in the mind. So we must work to shift our thinking. So if you are what you think, it manifests because you're giving power to it. Every time you think that thought, and it's not that I don't have negative thoughts or I'm like, want to, punch out the guy that cuts me off or whatever and say crazy things.
Yes.
But how long do you stay there? And how do you respond? And how do you let that come out into your energy? So yeah, it's here. It's here. We have to.
Here.
Yeah.
And then from a health. So see, now you're triggering things, right? So we talk about a physical. We start off physical, then we went mental. Now I'm going to go back to physical because so many of us are dealing with diabetes,
Yes.
pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, everything else that comes with all the other things that our community deals with. That can be eradicated. Can we talk about that?
Quickly.
Talk about that.
Quickly. And the body responds. The body responds very quickly to the adjustment.
Okay.
So two things from the food side and from the CBD side.
Yes.
So what we do know, the science is very clear that type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disorder. So your choices, your cumulative choices in food and dietary habits, along with physical activity, but dietary habits primarily, have brought you to this type 2 diabetes experience.
Okay.
And if you are pre-diabetic, it's a warning. It just says, okay, nip it in the bud, change some simple things, drink more water, get more plants, exercise. You will see in 30 days a shift. A shift.
Right.
From the CBD side, it is a plant. The CBD plant is about balancing the body systems with the S, all of the systems in the body.
Okay.
So, eat good food, take CBD supplements. You can, high blood pressure, cholesterol issue, diabetes, all of those things that are tied to lifestyle choices
Yes.
and food.
Yes.
Yes. Quickly.
And
Eradicate.
Did you all get that? All the things that are tied to lifestyle choices and food. Because the prescriptions that they give you from the doctor are horrific. If you look at the side effects,
Yes. The commercials, you look at the commercials and it says, oh, feel wonderful about XYZ.
Right.
But however,
you
a little dissertation.
You lose your limb.
Yeah.
Right. It does. It says that.
Yes.
Like, stop. Like, it says that. And it seems that we are so comfortable in that. And we've created this conversation around, oh, guess what? Now we have a commonality because I have diabetes too. Hello, I'm talking to you out there. Why are we claiming that?
No.
Doctor?
No.
That's not the space that we should be living in. The space should be
Absolutely.
that, guess what do I need to eat differently? Come on, help me, because I am not claiming this, doctor.
Exactly.
And do we not think that we
Again,
should
we're
be
going
healthy?
back. We're going back to shifting the mind and
Okay.
making the choice.
Okay.
We are empowered to choose.
Okay.
No matter what. If you're working 2 jobs, you have a busy schedule, you've got the children, but you can choose. Can you choose to get up a few minutes earlier? Can you choose to drink a glass of water the last thing that you go before you go to bed?
Yes.
Can you choose to drink some water the first thing you get up in the morning, even before you brush your teeth?
Yes.
Can you make those choices? So, yeah.
Yes. And that's what it boils down to. It's what we choose. I thought about that normally in my workout schedule. I'm like, okay, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays are really rough because I'm like, okay, the show's at 7, so I'd have to get up at 4 something. And so I've been using that as an excuse. I'll tell you. This morning, no. I said, forget it. I'm up 4:30. I'm up on the treadmill 4:30. And to your point, I said you can do anything else in this life, and you mean to tell me that you cannot get up and make the conscious decision to do something that's going to be of betterment to you.
And then you said something powerful. I got up and got on the treadmill, which means that you have a treadmill at your house.
I do.
Okay, so
Yes.
again, that's another choice. We spend money on a whole lot of things. Buy a treadmill, have it at your house, because out of sight, out of mind. You don't have to pay a membership. Get your hula hoop. You
I
got
know
your
that, a jump
treadmill,
rope.
a jump rope.
Right.
You got your little gym
Your
right there.
dumbbells.
2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes in the morning. Roll
Yes.
out of the bed. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
because if not, then you know what the other, and I know, what would the other excuse be? Oh, I have to go to the gym. And then I have to get my bag ready. And I have to go
Right.
to the gym. And then I have to get dressed after the gym. That's too much.
Too much.
It's too much.
Yes.
And like you said, we use it as an excuse for us being healthy. So, I mean, that's everyone. I really want you to get it today. That we're really talking about health, like mental health, physical health. And at the end of the day, really understanding that cannabis is not the culprit. That's my conversation in all of this, is just reshaping how we have the conversations about cannabis. And everyone is thinking that it's just this horrible, it's a plant, for goodness sake. It's a plant, everyone. Like a
Yes.
plant. Like what you grow in the ground from a seed. And that can have an amazing impact on your life. And you don't have to use it for
Yes.
THC. You can use it for whatever you want to use it for. But all I'm saying is, in all that getting, get an understanding that makes it better.
Exactly.
That's all.
And all the time we spend on Facebook,
Oh,
the
don't talk about
internet
it.
has opened up the world. So there's two things. You've got a big repository of information
Sure.
coming from everywhere,
Sure.
which people are, working their thumbs out. So work your thumbs out to your benefit. However, it's important to connect to the expert, because you will need to initially have some support in sorting through, okay, what part
Right.
is true, what part is not true.
Right.
As the industry continues to explode, the marketing, you got to understand, like, maybe this piece was taken out of the research, but what's the sentence before it? What's the
Right.
sentence after it?
Right.
So, organizations like Kanna, individuals like Felicia, like yourself,
Like
with
yourself,
cannabis,
like
can
us,
help us
yes.
navigate those waters with education. So education is key. Empower yourself to take advantage on a number of lanes
Yes.
of
Yes.
cannabis.
Yes, everyone. That's
absolutely.
That's what it's about. Tim, I'm going to ask you: is the clip ready from the Rubin Report? Everyone, I was able to give Tim is amazing. He's helping me out as always in the studio this morning, and there's this amazing report. It's about a 6-minute video that talks about what weed looks like, quote unquote, from a physical perspective, from a mental perspective, and I just thought it was really interesting. I'm going to infuse that into our dialogue when the clip is ready, because I think sometimes people talk about us giving information, but they need to see it from someone else as well.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want, maybe other people are the best supporters, and so with that, I'm like, okay. So at the end of the day, I mean, that's what I'm looking for. Yep, looking for that to be able to say, okay, I'm going to show you something else while he's cueing that, because it helps shape the narrative, everyone. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I'm going to give us a quote also while Tim is bringing that up for us. But you all know I like quotes, Doctor. If you didn't, you probably didn't.
That's what
I
Calm Under Fire is about.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Nice.
it's a
Yeah, we can talk about it.
compilation of poems, prayers, paraphrases, quotes that uplift me over the years. So,
yes, we
yeah.
need that. In shaping this conversation, I found from John F. Kennedy, a country is as strong really as its citizens. And I think that mental and physical health, mental and physical vigor go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And I thought it couldn't have been said any plainer, that's the word. Mental and physical health You can't tell me we're
mental
healthy.
and physical.
Health. We are not healthy individuals right now.
No.
If you look at all the issues that we are dealing with in inner cities, urban cities, rural communities,
Yes.
a lot of people assume that just because it's rural, that they're growing things. No. Because if you're not astute enough to understand what's in the food, how you prepare the food,
Exactly.
the priority for the food, it impacts you.
Yes.
Have you always had this enlightenment?
So I started out of high school into nursing school because I was
Nice.
going to be a pediatric nurse, mind you.
okay.
But then I realized I was too emotional to be a pediatric nurse. But I knew at that point that being physically active made me feel good.
Yes.
Okay. And then eating a certain way made me feel good as well.
Yes.
You know, and so, you know, I was off to the military and got the opportunity
nice.
to do exercise for military wives.
Wow.
And in California.
Okay.
So, you know, California for a long time was the leaders in all things vegetarian, vegan, and that's when I really got introduced to it back in the 70s.
Of California alone. I have a girlfriend, hey, good morning, D, in LA, and I tell her all the time, I don't understand how you are not Miss Physical Fit Guru in LA.
Yes.
Just for the simple fact of how it looks. It just will make you want to go outside.
Absolutely.
It makes you want to move. It makes you want
Yes.
to create a level of health.
Yes.
But maybe that's not everybody. I don't know.
I love
Right, that's an excuse? I don't know. Everyone, the clip is ready. We're going to go to this clip. The Rubin Report had a quick little conversation with a panel of individuals that talks about the myths of cannabis. Let's take a look.
School of Medicine have found, according to this new study, that marijuana has no negative effects on human health. That's right. Let's take a look at some of the study. They found that no differences between daily marijuana users and those using no marijuana in their use of the emergency room, hospitalizations, medical diagnoses, or their health status. Our findings suggest that the marijuana use has little measurable effect on self-reported health or healthcare utilization in adults using drugs identified in a primary care clinic. So this is obviously linking health directly to marijuana use, and they're not seeing any discrepancies. I'm going to guess that this doesn't surprise any of the three of us. Rick, I start with you.
Once again, I think they read their mail. Just like Dr. Sanjay Gupta suddenly read his mail and said,
Yes.
dude, you want to stay on the air? You got a lot of people who are furious with you. You got to give that up. So pretend it's a giant epiphany and change in your position on air. You're up in 5, write something good and go.
Yeah.
And I think a lot.
Essentially, he probably knew, but
He knew a long time ago, but his pharmaceutical backers, which might mean they are coming closer to their own cannabinoid pharma version of everything that'll work this time. The one says, okay, tell Sanjay he can ease up a little bit
Yeah.
now. He
Wow,
can
that's
back off.
really
interesting.
astute because in the quote it kind of tells you that.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's a really interesting theory, I think, that you think that they're somehow going to figure out the pharmacological version, and then...
One of the boom industries that's saving California and saving Washington and saving Colorado, the economies are boosting up like crazy from it. Someone who had the previous power base is going to pay a ton of attention to that and have huge, long oak desk meetings about what they're going to do to have their piece of that.
Yeah.
Like the way cigarette companies are figuring out now what packaging will look like.
Yeah. And
They're
this
planning
is...
just the business model. That means an inevitability. When they have the new munchie meal from Burger King,
Right.
Everyone's prepping and ramping for it now.
So you'll get the weed next door to Burger King, and then you'll go in for the munchie meal at Burger King.
Yeah.
So obviously this doesn't surprise us,
No.
but I mean, what is it about everybody that takes them so long? So Sanjay Gupta is a good example, and I know your answer already, but he was one of these people that was completely against it. Then he had this huge mea culpa a couple of weeks ago. Everything I knew was wrong, but
Yeah,
I'm not a
sure.
doctor. I knew
Right.
that it was okay.
I think
So
we all have for a very long time. I think there's two factors going in here. I think you're absolutely right. I think that even in that statement that you just read, you could see that the language they're using is starting to move towards it has no impact on people seeking treatment. It has no impact on the weight of the healthcare system is what they're essentially saying. They're saying emergency rooms and people coming in for treatment are no sicker, are needing no more care, no more financing from the government or anybody. And I think they're also paving the way for it to be legal so they can get money from it. And all they need to do is flip the switch in certain people who need the authorities to tell you. So right now we have lots of older baby boomers, we have lots of conservatives, we have other people that like authoritarian, like it or not, some people like authoritarian things to be told to them before making their decisions. Some people are just more comfortable that way. They're not comfortable getting their information from the internet or common sense. They like to be told ABC equals this, you know? So I think that once the government and once more studies funded by universities and once people like authorities like Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who's now an authority, apparently he's on CNN, great. But that's going to mean that people are more comfortable now with it. So we all knew this. I think people that are forward thinking know this, but it's just that last, you know, there's like the early adopters and there's that last wave. They need to be told it's okay. And now
What
they're
are
like,
those guys called? We have the early adopters. That sounds good.
Right.
What are the people who you have to drag at the end?
the dumb, deaf, and blind. I don't know.
The dumb, deaf, and blind.
No offense to the blind people and deaf people that are at home going, I knew that, and you know, come on.
Right, so just playing the devil's advocate here, as I have to do occasionally, is there any risk in this that if you make all this stuff, or if you make weed legal, that then kids will be trying it younger, and when their brains are forming, and you know the cognitive parts of their brain, and they're putting in weed that often now is much stronger than it used to be, and all that kind of stuff? Is there a risk?
Compare
there?
it to the alcohol model? Between the 20s and now, is maybe there's a prohibition to canceling prohibition model you can look at for that, and I could check the stats on that. It's an interesting, good question. I don't know what the numbers would be for that.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
So
If you're a kid and you want to drink when you're in junior high or high school, you're probably going to have a few drinks the same way if you were going to smoke pot. You were going to smoke pot. I think you are correct by saying it's like prohibition. I don't think saying that it's legal for medical purposes is going to entice a kid. Like, oh, for medical purposes, this is cool. It's cooler for me to smoke now. I think maybe it'll make it a little less cool that it's a kind of a medicinal thing rather than, you know, like a naughty thing or just to get messed up.
Right, and the second you can get it at the Starbucks of weed, it won't be cool anymore. So final thought on this. 2016, is there a chance that one of the candidates, that a real sort of mainstream candidate, is going to get on board at least legalizing it at the state level? I could see maybe somebody doing that. Is that totally crazy?
You have a states' rights candidate possibly who will defer to that but will not come out in support of it.
Okay, so somebody, probably a Republican who's big on states' rights,
Right.
who will get no traction really.
Or a Democrat could say it too, but they would just say it's not federal government's responsibility. Look, Democrats it would behoove them to do that so they could say, look, we're not trying to be big government and regulate you. Let the states decide and kind of say, look, Republicans, if that's what you like, then you just like my policy.
It'll be the candidate on the ropes.
Right.
Pull out the pot, Floyd. Boom, throw that out there. Hey, but I may have all these scandals, but look what I brought here.
I got weed for everybody.
Come on.
Let's
you
have
know
fun.
you'll vote for me.
So appreciative of the Reuben Port. And what did he say at the end? We got cannabis for everybody. That's the conversation that we have. Cannabis, making sure that you're healthy, making sure that you understand your cannabinoids and your internal systems, what it looks like. It has been a pleasure, Dr. Anderson. Anytime you're welcome. It shouldn't be this fun when we're having such a great time talking about something that's important. And you have some great things that are on the way. So what would you like to share?
Absolutely. So a couple of things and ways to get in contact. So,
Please.
you know, the farmers market season is coming up. It
Yes.
kicks off this Thursday. The Northwest Rosedale Park Farmers Market is a Thursday market. So that's where we will be every
Nice, I wanna
Thursday
be
until
there.
October.
Okay.
And then starting at the end of the month, the Oak Park Farmers Market is where we will be on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Info@sweetpotatodelights.com is
Yes.
the email address.
Okay.
Sweetpotatodelights.com, www.sweetpotatodelights.com is the website where you can go and order any of these amazing products if you don't see us at the farmers market.
Okay.
And then we were talking about young people and where we need to start early on different things.
Yes.
And I shared with you that I'm going to be doing double dutch.
Woohoo!
So-
Y'all know about the double dutch. You gotta have the rhythm and the rhythm.
Double
You gotta
dutch,
jump it in. I love
yes,
that. I
yes.
love that. I'll be on the end. I'll be on
Yes.
the end. Okay.
So I encourage folks to check out the Transforming Love community on Facebook to keep, on tabs for that information, because that is who I will be partnering with to bring that to our community. So look for the information to register young people 6 to 16 for this little mini workshop that we're going to be doing for the summertime.
Yes, that sounds perfect, everyone.
Yes.
If you haven't gotten your fill of amazing information today, Shame on you. It's a pleasure. And Dr. Anderson will be here at the Wakana meet and greet on the 15th as well.
Yes.
So you want to make sure you're a part of that conversation as well. So everyone, our time is up. I pray that the conversation today has given you a little bit more information that creates a little higher comfort level with cannabis. Because if you don't know, then that's a problem. But we believe that shared knowledge is power. And at the end of the day, we are better with each other, being empowered. That's the goal. If you're not good, I'm not good. And so that's why we have these conversations. I want to end up with this quote. The ultimate goal of the blessed life is physical health and mental serenity. That's Epicurus. He stated that the ultimate goal of the blessed life is physical health and mental serenity. That is what I want for all of us on today and every day. Continue to make your moments matter. Make this day amazing. I look forward to seeing you bright and early tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for Coffee and Conversation with Colette right here still on WHPS TV 33. See you then.